often hear people saying that there's a crisis with priests, with the way we see priests. And I think to myself, it's not really a crisis about how we see priests. It's a crisis about how we see God. Insofar as if we relegate God to half an hour on a Sunday, if we try to reduce God to our own image and likeness, then it's obvious to me that we're going to do the same with the ministers of God, with priests. So the question isn't so much how do we see priests, what's our image of them? The question is, how do we see God? What is our image of God? And so I ask, try to imagine a world in which God doesn't exist. A world that's dark, that's full of confusion and anger and frustration and hatred and envy and jealousy and all these negative things. And then try and imagine a world in which there are no priests, in which there aren't men who can help us come closer to God, who in a word can bring consolation and comfort and encouragement, who can bring us to God and through the Eucharist can bring God to us. What an awful, dark and confused world that would be. Often when I ask friends or family or students of mine how they imagine the priest, the answer is, well, he has a great life, he doesn't have anything to worry about, he has 3 hot meals a day, lives in a nice house, he doesn't have much to do in his life. And I think, gosh, you don't know, you have no idea what a priest does. A priest is an incredibly courageous person. He's someone who's had the courage to make a radical choice, to go against the flow. He's had the courage to stand up and say, you can take the world and you can keep it. I'm choosing another way. I want to serve people, the men and women of the world. I want to be in the world, but I don't want to be of the world. And the reason why I want to serve people is because I want to serve God first. And I think that's the great lesson we can learn from priests. Good priests always put God first. God is always at the center. Everything else is a consequence of that.